Well, the tragedy in Aleppo and Syria will quickly demand the attention of the new U.S. president when he takes office in January. But it is becoming more difficult for President-elect Donald Trump to put his campaign and the election behind him. In fact, calls are growing for a recount in 3 states. Green Party candidate Jill Stein is heading the effort for a recount in Wisconsin, one of those states where Trump's win was not predicted, as well as Pennsylvania and Michigan. Now, here's what she posted on Facebook.
As a grassroots campaign and a grassroots movement, we are standing up for a voting system that we deserve, that we can have confidence in, that has integrity and security, and that we know is not subject to tampering, malfeasance, hacking, and so on. So we're standing up to say that we deserve that in this election.
Well, this is not sitting well with Donald Trump. Over the weekend, he tweeted that he won the popular vote. Quote, if you deduct millions of people who voted illegally, unquote. As usual, Trump offered no evidence for his claim of vote rigging. Hillary Clinton's campaign team says it will support the recount. Trump beat Hillary Clinton in the electoral vote earlier this month, but Clinton has beat Trump by more than 2 million votes nationwide in the popular vote. All right, we want to pull in our Washington correspondent, Richard Walker. Now, he's on the story for us. Good evening to you, Richard. Now, we are not talking about, even with this recount, a reversal of the election results, are we?
Yeah, that's right, Brent. I mean, we do have to be very clear about that. That is almost certainly not going to happen. I mean, Hillary Clinton, if she were to become president, she would need to flip all 3 of those states that you just referred to, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And as her own team has indicated, it is extremely unlikely that they would even flip a single one of those states, given that the margins of the victory by Trump in those states is higher than any margin that has ever been overturned by a recount in the past. So if there are any viewers out there hoping that this is going to be the thing that keeps Donald Trump out of the White House, they're likely to be disappointed. Yeah,
and we know that the Democrats are a very disenchanted party at the moment. But, you know, it has taken Jill Stein no time to raise money for the recount effort. She said she's raised more than 100,000 or has had more than 100,000 donations, averaging $45 each.
Yeah, and I think that does reflect the fact that an awful lot of people across the country are desperate to find anything that they think might prevent Donald Trump from actually becoming president. So horrified are they by that prospect. I mean, some constitutional experts are trying another route. They are suggesting that members of the Electoral College that actually picks the president should cast their ballots against Donald Trump because they see his potential conflicts of interest arising from his businesses around the world as so grave that it would presage a constitutional crisis. But I'm afraid, unfortunately, for both of these groups, the reality is that it's extremely likely that Donald Trump is going to be entering the White House as planned on the 20th of January next year. And
briefly, Richard, what about the new cabinet? I mean, over Thanksgiving, everyone was talking about Mitt Romney may be Secretary of State, but the man also that, you know, the people around Trump love to hate right now.
Yeah, that's right. It was an extraordinary scene over the weekend where some of Donald Trump's top people, including his campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway, were doing the rounds on television trashing Mitt Romney, this man who Trump was ostensibly considering as a potential Secretary of State. So there are all sorts of theories about what was going on here, whether Conway was potentially sort of going rogue. I think what's more likely is that Donald Trump was actually quite happy to see Mitt Romney being mangled in public, given how Mitt Romney himself mangled Donald Trump during the course of the campaign. He was one of his strongest critics on the Republican side. But I think we just have to take all of the rumors about what's going on in the transition process with a pinch of salt. It's normal for there to be lots of rumors, lots of uncertainty, and of course, in the case of this president, even more so.
All right, our correspondent Richard Walker in Washington. Richard, thank you very much.